So I'm Tinti. Welcome to Time with Tea, and thank you so much for choosing to spend time with me. Today I am going to talk about Agenda 23. I have been asked on multiple occasions what agenda is and what it means. Well, we have the female gender and the male gender. Therefore, we have a gender. I also believe that every single day of our lives, we should have a gender on our agenda. Therefore, I called my movement Agenda. It began as such from the very beginning, from the inception of the concept, and then I added 23 later on in the years. That is a story for another day that I will get into, because I believe that we should all tell our stories. Hashtag tell your story. Hashtag I believe you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Tinti, and I'm the founder of Agenda 23, and this is my story. I started Agenda back in 2012, late 2012, leading to 2013. I remember when I had this idea, my son had just turned 1. The biggest issue that I was struggling with at the time was the communication between the male gender and the female gender, and I wanted to do something about it, hence the birth of Agenda. Well, back in 2013, I was really getting it off the ground, especially from February until July, August, September. And then unfortunately my son fell sick, and when my son fell sick and we couldn't find pretty much anything or any doctor that would tell us what was wrong with him, one day my mother came home from work and said, hey, I think we should go consult. I think let's go there and check it out. Now, I'm a person who could not have been bothered with traditional stuff, even though I come from a family that practices such. Don't know what to do, but I know that I will do anything for my child. So if it means going to consult, then I'm going to go consult. And then off we went. I remember at the time I had headaches. If you have ever met me, you've met me with my head pounding. I've always had a headache. I've always suffered from endless headaches. I actually don't remember a headache-free life. I don't have a memory of a headache-free life. So we go there, and I'm also hoping that maybe, I had this bit of hope that in curing my son, I might get cured too. So now they tell me that the reason why my son is so sick is because I have this calling that I'm not answering. And I'm like, calling? Me? Who's calling me? What do they want? But after they break everything down for me, and so that to a point where I could understand, I sort of said, you know what? Who will it hurt? Let me just do this, because like I said, I'll do anything for my kid. And then I decided that, you know what, if it means he's never gonna get sick again, then count me in. And I recall it was on the last day of October 2013 that I went into initiation. I remember that day like it was yesterday. I remember I had just made the decision, and I had spoken to the family. That day I woke up feeling all positive, trying to convince myself that this is the right thing to do. My grandmother was here, wanting to give me a nice send off. I had rice and tinned fish. Canned fish is like my favoriteest meal of all time. If you drizzle a bit of mayonnaise there and a glass of ice cold oros, I'm sorted. I still wish we could order that meal in some restaurants today, hey? So I get that, I do that, I have that meal, and then I get ready. I pack all my stuff that I think that I need, all the things that I think that I need. But as it turns out, I packed a little extra because I had pajamas, I had morning slippers, like I was going on holiday. I was all packed up. Just after 6 o'clock, my sister was returning from work, and we all gathered, and then off we went. We drove off. I remember holding my son the entire time, saying to him, I'm gonna see you soon, I'm gonna see you soon. And I felt like I was breaking so many promises to him at the time, because I had made promises to him on the day that he was born, but of course he doesn't remember any of that. And then again, that is a story for another day that I hope you will soon be able to read about. So I'm just gonna skip a lot of details so that I can just get to the gist of the story, and then so that I keep it moving, so that I don't stand here and do part 54 of one story. Maybe if we can just have like a 2-part, 3-part, 4-part at maximum, that will be it. So I get there, and then we have there's a whole greeting, everybody. Yeah, that happens, and then my family leaves. I remember feeling so wah. Now, me feeling wah is a feeling I can't explain. So when you ask me how you're feeling and I say wah, it means I'm feeling some type of way that I don't know how to explain, but I know I don't feel good. So I felt wah, and I cried through the night, because there I was sleeping on the cold concrete floor. You know, I didn't have my comforts, you know, so it was a rough one. So, but I remember the first week, let's say the first 2 weeks, actually the first month, I was treated normally. I thought this is how things were gonna go. You know, when other initiates that I found, they were waking up at 3 o'clock, I was just told to wake up when I wake up. But then because I've always been an early riser, I still am, always have been. I would, around 5 o'clock, I would be up, and then they would be, you know, doing their chores, and sometimes I would offer to help, but then you could tell. I think that should have been my number one tell at the time. Whenever when I offered to help somebody, they would all react so quick, like, no, don't do that. I go. You know, like in the manner that they would tell me not to help them out, it was like, yo, if you do this, I will be the one getting into trouble. I wish they had articulated that at the time, but because I was new and this lady didn't want me to see everything all in the first week, in the first month, I'm trying to think of a name. What can we call her? Because I don't want to call her a lady, because that sounds like an insult to all the ladies that I know out there. I don't want to call her a female, because I'm also a female, and it sounds like an insult to all the females out there. I don't want to call her anything that I am. So I'm trying to think of a name. Say she was born in February, early February, so that would make her a Aquarius, I think. Horoscopes serves me, if memory serves me correctly, she's an Aquarius. So let's just say I'm gonna call her Aquarius. No insults to all the Aquarians out there, but I just want to detach. I'm not attached to any Aquarians, so I'm gonna call her Aquarius. So Aquarius didn't want to show me everybody's true colors, especially hers, in early days, because she was afraid that I would leave. And I wish she had, so that I would have left like a few others have. And again, I want to stand here and tell my story, not stories of others. And I want to make sure that I only mention people that are tied and tangled in my story, and not mention anybody who is not absolutely involved. But everybody who was there with me at the time is involved. So unfortunately, you can't tell me not to tell my story just because it has you in it.